And hello, my fellow Tabarians. Welcome to Watch and Win, Learn and Earn. It's good to have you here once again. And this is our fifth, as we use those famous words or famous letters that are being used nowadays to divide us. I'm trying to use it so that we can get together in the Alef Beyt, which represents the Father, in the Torah. So the Alef Beyt is the mindset of the Father. That's what I attempt to teach you here. To be in the proper mindset to be able to take care of the world. So now the B.L.M, it stands for Builders' Laws Matter. Because to me the Builders' Laws are the Torah, the teachings orderly rendering altruistic humanity. Alright, the Torah to me is the real laws that matter because it gives us the character of the Alef Beyt, the character of the Father. And also I try to use the LGBT, as you understand, that means for let God be true, must be established. So we have to establish that the laws of God is what really matters, because everybody that is a creator gives you rules to follow, and that's what we're doing today. So today I believe I'm going to share at the beginning a little bit. Right now I'm going to turn to the screen and you're going to see a little bit of what happened on Sunday when I gathered. I went with Andy and Brian and Rosa. We went over there. First, we had gone to Golden Corral, but it wasn't a great deal. It's not all you can eat anymore. They give you a menu. And so we decided to go to, I believe it's Four Seasons, all you can eat buffet over there in Cerritos. So we had a little gathering there, and then at the end I had a little message. So I'm going to share it with you, and then I'm going to try to teach you a song, and then we're going to talk about today, because today we are explaining the Feast of Tabernacles, because this is the week that the Jewish people celebrate that. So I'm going to give you a little perspective on that. All right, so it's good to have all of you in here already. Rosa Crispin, good to have you. Ben Duran, I see you invited a friend. That's very good. Very good. I see everybody here. That's good, and we're doing fine. Now let me put my screen here so I can put it myself in order. All right, let me go to the main observatory, and I believe it starts with the... Is it recording? Oh, yeah, it's recording. The little red thing is button. Okay, it's going. All right. Yeah, there you go. All right.
You want to move it?
Okay, so here we are, and...
To move it, tilt it back?
That's fine. Just leave it there because... It's perfect because it covers that, and it covers this area here, so that's what I want, yeah.
You want me to move this?
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's right.
All right, so what's the name of this place again? Four Seasons?
Four Seasons Buffet.
We are at the Four Seasons Buffet in Cerritos. Yeah, Cerritos here, Can't move the camera around too much, but Brian is here. Woohoo! Right to me, yeah, you can see that. And then you have Rosa Crispin on this other side, and then we have Andy Crispin on this side. So we came here today to celebrate. This weekend is the Festival of Tabernacles, in the Jewish. And we gathered here today, so we had already had the meal, we ate. And so we're in a place here like outdoors. It's like a little tabernacle, a little Sukkoth, for the all-you-can-eat place here. But the food was pretty good. It was pretty good. So we're having a little fellowship here right now. And just, we were talking about a little bit about the meaning of this tabernacle idea. I talked to you earlier this week. We were talking about, there you are, a little group shot in here all together.
Paparazzi.
All right, we're taking pictures right now. All right. In any event, so I'm trying to share this with you guys right now. The idea of the tabernacle. So this is the third. We have Rosh Shanah, which means the beginning of the new year. We talk about Rosh, what's the head. We need to learn to be in the head of the Father, the Alef Beyt, and that's what we learned in August, to be in the Alef Beyt. That the whole idea is to be in sync with the mindset of our Maker. Okay, so Rosh Hashanah, which is in the head. That's where everything begins. You get your bright idea in the head, and then God got his bright idea to create this place, to express himself in it, and all of us are part of his creation for that expression. And so in the head all began, that's why the head of the year is the beginning of the year. And after that we had Yom Kippur, which was when people asked for forgiveness, okay? But the objective of that is if you're going to be in the mindset of the Father, you are not only a person that forgives, but you live for giving. You live for the giving. Because that's all that a father does. Once a father becomes a father and a mother, they live for the giving of everything they got for their children. That's what they dedicate their life to. And so that's the choice. The only thing that God likes to do, and is always doing, just giving every care possible for this resilient, brilliant garden that He made, the organic garden. You know, and we're all part of it, and everything resembles who He is. So now, remember Alef Beyt. Let me see if I can use my little thing here. Here's the Alef Beyt of the stand here. There's two letters, this one and this one. Those two letters together means Father, right? And it's the picture of a tabernacle, or the tent, or a house, or a building. Everything that has to do with a place that provides for you. Because the whole idea and the festival of tabernacles is that you celebrate it at the time of the harvest. They collect it, they go to the field, they set up this little tabernacle, and they get this etor, which is the citron, it looks like a lemon. They get the palm leaves, they get the myrtle and the willow, and all the celebration. And there's a meaning behind that. I'll explain this later on as I do this in the house. You know, when I get back to my studio, quote unquote. But I'm going to share this with this as I explain everything in the studio, right? But this is we're doing in outdoors today. We're celebrating that. And this happens to be a little tent. You got a situation here. And it's outside. So that's the whole idea, that we are in the house. And the whole idea is celebrated for 7 days, okay? Because the whole idea is you're going to be in the Father. Because Alef Beyt is the Father. And the tabernacle is the picture of the Father. You know, everybody in the world celebrates the Feast of Tabernacle all year round, because everybody that lives in a house and is happy to have everything in there, they're celebrating the Feast of Tabernacles without knowing, okay? Because they live in that little house all year round, happy that that house provides everything for them. You know, they do everything inside that house, and that was the idea to do at the tabernacle. Is they will do everything inside the tabernacle. You know, even go to the bathroom, they will do it there. So in your house, you have the facilities to do all of that and do everything. And especially now in this pandemic era, you're finding out that your house really enables you to be there all the time and get have food ordered and everything else. So this is the amazing thing, you know. But that's the whole idea, though, because the idea is to be the picture that you are in the Father all the time, and He supplies all your needs, and you can abide there and think in there, reason in there, fellowship in there, and do everything in there. Because that was the whole idea, and it was to be celebrated 7 days. And the number 7 is the number of completion, is the number of God. Because in 7 days, He completed all of creation, okay? And so the whole idea is that we're going to be there in 7 days because we're completing who He is in His completeness. So that's the Feast of the Tabernacle. So we began with the Rosh, the head of the Alef Beyt. And then we move on to the office or the employment, the occupation of God. The occupation of God is to be a giver. So we live for giving. We live for the function of giving. It's not just that we ask forgiveness, but we are dedicated to the function of giving, because after all, if you inherit words and the order of words, you're just going to be a giver and a producer of all kinds of products and services. That's all awaits you. You become a Shangri-La, a cornucopia of goods to the whole world. You know, always giving because you love the order of words. You're always a producer. And so you abide in that mindset of the Father, because you only love words and the order of words. That means you only want to be in the mindset of the Father. You only want to be a producer to this world. You only want to be a caretaker, a restorer, a refresher. That's all you can do. Because if all you want to hang on to is the order of words and words, that's exactly what you become. So the whole idea of this 7 days is to introduce us that to be in that mindset, this should be like the ignition switch that starts the car 7 days, so you will stay like that the rest of your life. What other people do is just 7 days just to act a religious act, and then they go back to being a giver again, munching the world. You know, the whole idea is to enter into this understanding so that you will, you know, spark your soul. Man, isn't it wonderful if you live for the care of words? I will be the best giver. So you will stay in the mindset, and you will abide in that mindset, and you become a tabernacle to the world because you have the Father to offer to the world. So this is a little thing to introduce you. You know, isn't it comfortable to be in a place where everything is provided for you, everything? So be like that to the world now. So when we leave the festivities of 7 days, we become a tabernacle unto the world. Okay? So this whole continuity flows, So let just make it a religious exercise, 7 days, and that's it. And then after that, go back to my old ways. The whole idea that God has been trying to do is, I keep this going so that we will continue to be in the Alef Beyt, to be a father and a provider to the world. All right, so I'll explain more of that. So we'll explain about the different fruits and how that connects to the mindset of the Father once I'm back in my studio. But I think I thought I'd share this with you guys today. So here we are. So just to show you, this is the ceiling here of the tabernacle that we're in. There's the sides there, there's the wall. Yeah, don't be shy, people. These are my company compatriots here. All right, so that's where we are right now. So we're about to leave right now. So perfect. Okay, that works. All right, let me stop this. Yeah, all right. All right, so there you have. So that's a little thing of what happened, on Sunday. So I thought I'd share that with you. It's a little lesson that I gave out there, and we had a good time. So in any case, we've been looking at, at different things because he has started. I've been trying to explain to you the different holidays and festivities in the Jewish calendar. We had the Rosh Shanah, the one for the head of the year, which is at the beginning of the year. I explained that it starts with the head. The word Rosh is the head. So it starts that we need to start with the mindset of the Alef Beyt. Okay, Alef Beyt is my Hebrew way of saying alphabet because everything has ever been made comes from an alphabet. The alphabet is rearranged in a certain order, and there you come with a book of engineering. Then the alphabet is rearranged in another order, and there's a book for architecture, and the alphabet is rearranged. So the different people, according to their observations, they are able to use the alphabet to create all kinds of things in this world. It's beautiful. So according to whatever capacity God gave you, the Alef Beyt is introducing to you, and so those observation powers are made manifest, and you're able to create something. If you're a musician, you're able to create music. If you're an architecture, you're able to create buildings. But the alphabet, to me, is the ultimate morphin man. It can morph into so many shapes, but it's always an order. So the Alef Beyt, to me, is the greatest thing you could ever find, the alphabet. Okay, and that's what the Bible emphasizes. I gave you on August, I gave you the lessons. I started with the lesson of the Alef Beyt. I explained to you that the largest chapter in the Bible, the longest chapter in the Bible, is 176 verses long, and it's all dedicated to the Hebrew alphabet. There's 22 characters in the Hebrew alphabet, and each one of those characters has 8 verses dedicated to it. And so David made you understand that to him, the Alef Beyt, the alphabet, was everything, because he understood, even back then, that everything is composed and made out of, they're made out of letters. And therefore, in the order of the letters, you can construct something either from a pyramid to a boat, to anything you can imagine, to a ship. Everything has to be made by instructions. So he gave the Alef Beyt the highest esteem possible. He thought of it as the highest. That's why he dedicated the largest poem, the largest song, and the largest chapter in the Bible, chapter 119, just to the Alef Beyt, to each letter of the alphabet, to make us understand how important it is. Now, hardly anybody comes around and recalls that, but that's how important that is. So I'm not trying to bring you back to that remembrance. Okay, so that's what we're looking at today. So, Alef Beyt, remember, Alef Beyt, which means Aleph, is it's the, as you can see on top all the way all the way to the other end, all the way on top. That's the Aleph, that's the head of the ox, and that means strength. Okay, or fortification, for being strong or being a leader. Okay, and Beth is the one right next to it or there, right? As you can see, there's the Aleph in the corner, and then the one follows the Beth. That's the house, or the floor plan, or the schematics, or blueprints, because that tells you the details how to make or run a house or run a business. So the strong house, that's the picture of a father, a strong place to dwell in, a strong place. And we discussed the other day that the way that society nowadays, they settle for a strong house, which is the picture of the Alef Beyt in our retarded garden, in our Alef Beyt simulation that I explained last week, is what is called real estate. Okay, real estate to them is a valuable because a house is a house that is strong enough that hopefully will last for a couple of generations, so their children will live there, and so on. And so the people do that. So we've been talking about the Alef Beyt, and in this holidays, it starts with the head of the year. That's the beginning of the year, and then we went to Yom Kippur, when they celebrate the forgiveness. And I told you that the best way to think of it is not just to be forgiven because we've fallen short of revealing the Father. And how do we fall short? We fall short because we don't live for the giving all the time. We're in this world and we get caught up in the getting as if we were made to get something other than words. It's pretty much, we were made to be in the giving mode all the time. God's always giving of himself, giving of his care for his creation. He's always in the giving. So to go to God for forgiveness means that you are repenting and you're going to live just for giving, for the giving mode, because that's how, if you're always living in the mode of being there for giving, then God is flowing out of you. And then what happens in this holiday that they celebrate now is called the Feast of Tabernacles. And the way it was supposed to do, it was supposed to be celebrated for 7 days. They made like a little tabernacle, which means a little remembrance of the tent that they lived in during the time that they were in the wilderness, and that was the idea. And then I'll show you the items and the species that they collected for memories of that. I'll show you that in the next scene, But this is the thing. So we're looking at, and also the tabernacle is the picture of the Father again. So you start in Rosh Shanah. That's the head of the year. You start with the mindset of the Father, right? Then you get into the mode of what you're going to be doing. You ask me for forgiveness because you want to live for giving, for the act of giving. And now you are in the dwelling. You are inside. And the whole idea, the way they celebrate it, they go into those little things and they do everything in there. They eat, and especially the man. The woman can stay in the house, but they set these things outdoors in the patio or something like that, and they set it up. And the whole idea, they can do everything in there because the Alef Beyt, the Father, is your provider, your protector, and your producer. He does everything for you. So the whole idea is like, I feel like God plays with his children like, let's be little fathers. So everybody gets the notion, They start with the mindset, then they find out about the character of giving for Yom Kippur, and now we're going to be in the tabernacle there for 7 days to remember that the Father provides you for everything. Now everybody, especially in this quarantine, everybody's staying in their homes. So your homes is, everybody's celebrating the tabernacle, Feast of Tabernacle all year round because you're locked down. So your little house is your tabernacle. It's your little strong house. That's the little picture of the Alef Beyt right there. The house you stay, your apartment, everything that's covering you, and there you stay, you eat and you do everything in there. That's the whole idea, that you're inside of the Father. Okay? And if you like that care, the whole idea is for you to acquire that mindset. Just love the Alef Beyt, because then you become a tent for the whole world. You become a covering for the whole world. Because if you only love word and the order of words, guess what? You're going to be here to produce products, to renew, to restore, and refresh. You're going to be like a tent that covers the whole earth, and the whole earth is going to be supplied with all the usefulness and all the stuff that comes out of you. So the whole idea to begin with the Alef Beyt, the head of the mindset of God, is to stay in there, to grow into that character. Because that's the best that you can offer the world, is to stay in that character. Okay? Now, let me see if I can share a little song. Let me take this down here for a minute. I'm going to have to, so I can put the song here on the screen so I can know what I'm doing. Now, let me show you here what I'm talking about. All right, so let's go here. And so this song, by the way, I was studying. I was finding out that there's this song that they sing and they recite. Jewish people recite this verses, during this Feast of Tabernacles. Okay, and so it's Psalm 118 verse 1. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good, because his mercy endureth forever. It says Psalm 118 verse 2 says, let Israel now say that his mercy endureth forever. And then they go to verse 25. It says, save now, I beseech thee, O Lord, I beseech thee, saying now, prosperity, profitable. Then I added the last part here because I made a song out of this theme, profitability to make your name great over all the earth. Okay, so I'm gonna start singing that, but I also added, because it's not only that we're celebrating now just for the Jewish, we're celebrating for the whole world, because we have to be in the mindset of the Father. The whole world needs to be rescued, and that goes across the board. Okay, and God is the God of the whole earth. So everybody, every nation that fear Him, He recognizes who are there. So the Noahites that were not Jewish were also accepted by Elohim, Jehovah. So all races and all nations are welcome. Okay, that want to fear His name. So I also include Psalm 117. That's a whole psalm here, by the way. It's only 2 verses long, but if you learn this, you're gonna hold. It's Psalm 117, verse 1 and 2. It says, "Oh, praise the Lord, all ye nations; praise Him, all ye people. For His merciful kindness is great toward us, and the truth of the Lord endureth forever." Okay, so let me see if I can. Okay, what did I do with my pick? Oh, I lost my pick. So sorry about that. My guitar pick. Okay, give me a second. I have to get another guitar pick because this one fell off or something. Okay, I do have another one, I believe. Yeah, there we go. All right, good thing. So, okay, I'm going to try to start with the one at the bottom, Psalm 118, verse 25. All right, because I just made the song for that part. The other ones I made it since years ago. But this one I just added today because that was part of what they sing. So let me see if I can remember. So I'm trying not to forget. That's why I'm trying to rush through this. Save now, I beseech thee, O Lord, I beseech thee, save now, save now, I beseech thee, O Lord, O Lord, I beseech thee, save now, prosperity, profitability to make your name great over all the earth. Trying to remember. Say now, I beseech thee, O Lord, I beseech thee, save now, save now, I beseech thee, O Lord, I beseech thee, save now, prosperity, profitability to make your name great over all the earth. I'll try one more time. Save now, I beseech thee, O Lord, I beseech thee, save now, save now, I beseech thee, O Lord, I beseech thee, save now, prosperity, profitability to make your name great over all the earth, great over all the earth, great over all. I'm going to start on the way from the top, Psalm 119, verse 1. Okay. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for He is good, because His mercy endureth forever. Oh, give thanks give thanks unto the Lord for his good, because his mercy endureth forever. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord for his good, because his mercy endureth forever. Let it run, now sail like his mercy. Let it run, now sail like his mercy. Let it run, now sail like his mercy. And do it forever, and do it forever. Endure it forever. Endure it forever. Amen. All right, thank God it came out as best as I could. I was stumbling a little bit on the beginning because I just made the song 1 hour before I started teaching you guys. So I was just trying to make that because that's part of the tradition, that's part of the thing that they ask for. But that's good. That verse there, save now. That means complete us. Yasha, now. I beseech thee, O Lord. Now it says, save now. Yasha is save. I plead. Now is plead. I save now. I beseech thee, O Lord. O Lord, I beseech thee, send now prosperity. And I added profitability to make your name great over all the earth. Okay, because that's what we need. We need to set success to convince the world that that's all that is needed. Because it's only when people, right? Only when people get to commit themselves to follow the alphabet of their country and the order of those words, that's when the CEOs and tycoons and bosses and everything can hire them in the company, because they know that these people at least are literate enough to understand the manual, to keep those instructions for themselves, and to be able to render the product and service. So when you are committed just to own and to have and to possess the Alef Beyt in all its orders and directions, then all companies across the board trust you, because you are in the Alef Beyt. That means you're going to be a caretaker. You're going to be a father to that company. You're going to go there to be a consumer and eat away all the product and service. You're going to be there to produce it, restore it, and renew it. So it is automatically accepted by the whole world that if you're going to live to keep the Alef Beyt or to keep the alphabet, you can be trusted to work for a company, because that's all you inherit in any company. You don't go there to get products and services for yourself. You go there to make them, to restore them, to renew them. So your only inheritance is the alphabet or the Alef Beyt. And Alef Beyt in Hebrew, what it is father. Abba, Abba. Remember, the easiest thing for a baby to say is Abba, Abba, or Am, which is mother. Mother is Am and father is Ab. Simple as that. So that's why the Bible says in the mouth of babes thou hast perfected praise, because the babe, the first thing that the baby says is Ab. And in the Father, everything. The Father is the Alef Beyt. And the alphabet is the source of everything that exists in all of creation. And even in the retarded garden, in Alef Beyt simulation, everything is made by words. And so people trust the people that are in the Alef Beyt, because that's the mindset that keeps on producing. When you love the Alef Beyt and the order of it, all right? So now we're going to look here. Let me take you to this, to the fruits that they use, during this celebration, okay? They use four species, they call it, that are used during this Sukkoth, or the Feast of Tabernacle. The first one is the palm fronds. It's like a palm leaves, and it's called lulav. All right, and then you can see here, if you get close to the lulav, it's the lamet, which is, if you look up there in my alphabet in the background, that's like the cane. That's the lamet, okay? And the lamet is for laws or guidelines or teachings or instructions, okay? So laws, guidelines, teaching, or instructions. And then he has what I call this one here, Oh yeah, the Bob. So that's the Bob, and then is the Lamed again, and then is the Beth, the house. So he has the Lamed, the Vav, the Lamed again, and the Beth. So it just means the law for the connections of the guidelines of the blueprints. Okay, that's like a palm leaves. The meaning of that. So you're gonna be in there so that you will remember the laws that give you the connectedness of the guidelines of the blueprints. So we are people that are gonna be in love with following the guidelines, the blueprints of the house, the schematics, right? And then the other one is the willow. Okay, we have the willow here. Now the willow is in Hebrew is arava. All right, and it has the iron. This letter here, the first one, that's the iron. That's for the eye. That's the picture of the eye. Okay, and that has the resh. That's the picture of the head. And then he has this one also has the house or schematics or floor plan. And then he has the hay, the picture of the guy that's full of life for animation or activation. So if you read the meaning of that applying in Hebrew, that means eye is for observation, resh is for head or to be above, and Beth is for schematics of the house, and this is for activation or animation. So it's the observations of the head's schematics for animation. So the observation or the watchfulness of the heads, okay, the mindset of the Alef Beyt of the Father, to do the job or the blueprint of animating and activating. So you're going to be in a company, you're going to be watching what the owner of the company came out with to write down the schematics to animate a product. In the economy that I speak to you about is the character of the Father. We're animating the character of the Father in our souls, in our lives, so that we may render His presence upon this world. All right, so this is our economy that I talk about. All the other people have their economy in the retarded garden and have the different products, but they have to use all these things to render the mindset of the creator of that company, okay? They have to do observations of the head of the company that follow the schematics that animates the product. And then we go to the myrtle. The myrtle tree is for the haras, and that's haras is for the hay, has the hay, and it has the dalet for the gate, and samek, yeah. Samek is for protection, okay? It's the S for the S. And it's like for the thorn for protection or support. So what this meaning is the animation of administration that gives protection and support. So you're going to be doing the revelation. Also, hey is revelation. The revelation of the administration, because the dalet is for the gate administration that gives support or protection. So all these things are part of what is needed to run any economy. And then we have this tree, the citron. Okay, it's in Hebrew it's edrog, and that is made of the following letters: as Aleph, okay, Aleph, and then is the tab. So it's made out of the beginning of the alphabet and the last letter of the alphabet. That's the first two letters. So the Aleph is for the strong or the leading, and then the tab is for commitment or objective, right? And then is the resh, and then is the vav, and then is the gimel. And the resh is the head again. The vav is the connecting, the nail that connects or the peg that connects, and the gimel is for the foot, for your career path, your career. So this is the leading commitment of the head's connectedness, career. So it's the commitment for the head, the leading commitment of the head's connectedness to the career of taking care of the Father's celebration. So it's the whole thing. So these are 4 fruits that are brought to bear, but not hardly anybody knows the meaning behind the Hebrew, because they do not know what it's supposed to reveal, because for one thing, they just take it as a tradition without realizing that the whole point of God giving us this is so that we will enter into His mindset. You understand? We will enter into the mindset of the Father. All right, so that's the whole thing that I try to convey to you right now. So let me ask you, now these are not questions for the test yet, but this is just for you to think right now, okay? This is something that I wrote here for you to think about. What is the best, okay, I put here, what is the best gift, asset, or treasure that you could give to all humanity? If you had the power to give everything to all humanity, what would be the best thing that you could give them, okay? couple of suggestions, okay? You think that the best thing that humanity needs and that would really help all humanity is if they could get a resurrected body, if everybody got a resurrected body, that would be fantastic, right? Everybody will get a resurrected body. But in history, there have been many cases that people have resurrected, like the Lazarus we hear in the Gospels, as you've been told, and also in the Talmud. There's many of the rabbis that have that power to resurrect the dead. And there's people that are even not in Christianity that have been able to resurrect the dead too. Like Sai Baba, that's a guy from India. He's no longer alive, but he got all kinds of power. He can resurrect people. He resurrected so many people, and he could make metal like gold appear out of nowhere. Just drop out dust. He's got all kinds of powers. So there's all kinds of people that have done. So resurrections upon this, and this world had happened. People have resurrected. And now, what you want is you want a body that resurrects and never dies. I know that's what you're looking for, right? But resurrections have already taken place upon this earth, and not for everybody. But the thing is, if we all of us get resurrected bodies, does that mean automatically we have the knowledge of how to take care of everything? I believe not, because knowledge is infused, it's given to you, it's taught to you, it's given. So knowledge is something you have to sit down and hear somebody. I have to be inputted into you. So the thing is, so what I'm getting at, so a new resurrection body, other religions are able to do that, but still, we're in the situation we're in. Okay, so what about a new heaven and a new earth? What about if you were to give humanity that? But we started this whole world, we started this whole creation with a new heaven and a brand new earth. And we could have lived a long time if we would have followed the word of God. Because, who knows, because we disobey, then it started living less and less. But Methuselah still got to live about 960 some years, the longest that he lived. 960 people used to live those years at the beginning. Okay, so we had a brand new heaven and earth, and look what we did. So we had it to begin with. So it's not like we never experienced that. So we had a brand new heaven and new earth, and look at what we did with it, what we have made out of it, right? So the thing is, we had to have those things, okay? But what I basically think when I look upon the face of the earth, when I look upon everything that has happened, we have had great wonders that have made also with words, like the pyramids in Egypt, the constructions, the big constructions in Machu Picchu in Peru, all these other places that pyramids have been built, and people still wondering up until now, what is the science, what is the knowledge that they have to carry those big rocks and to be able to build like that and to be able to carry those big rocks from a long place and bring them there. So if you were an engineer or an architect, and if I were to tell you, what would you like me to resurface or resurrect for you? If you have a choice, if I'm talking to an engineer, let's pretend that you're an engineer or an architect, you really want to know how things work. And if I tell you, if I can resurrect for you the pyramids, just bring them brand new out of the earth, just put them in front of you, or if I could just bring you resurrect the knowledge of how it was made, which one would you choose? I bet you that each one of them, we want to have the knowledge of how each one of those were made. Because with that knowledge, they can make it themselves, and they can keep it anew. And they can apply that knowledge of carrying big blocks and setting them up in the right. They can apply it for all kinds of construction. So each one of those people will want to have the resurrection, the knowledge of it resurface again, to come back and made manifested again. All right? And Socrates says that learning is nothing but remembering all things. Okay, so the thing is, what has been hidden for a long time right now is to be in the mindset of the Alef Beyt, to recognize people. Because the only thing that we get in this world, and if we ever, live this world, the only thing that we can take with us is the words that we receive from our parents, from our teachers, from our friends and everything. All the dust of the earth and everything that's been made out of the dust, we don't take any of those things with us. But it's been said by all religions and everybody else that we get to know who we are. We get to take the knowledge of what we receive. So if that's the case, because if only words are the things that we can record and we can acquire and we can take with us, we got to make sure that we take the best usefulness of the word, that we acquire the Alef Beyt, that we recognize that the Alef Beyt is, the alphabet is the most, the highest morphin man there is, because in the different orders that is revealed by different observers, to be the soul is the prism, to which the Alef Beyt shines. Just like the light shines through a prism, it shows all the different colors. So when the alphabet shines through a soul, and that soul has observation powers, depending on the observation powers and skills, that soul, out of the order of the Alef Beyt, can make a building, can make a poem, can make a song, can make all kinds of stuff. So the Alef Beyt shining through the soul is the prism of the Alef Beyt, the one that makes it shine in all of its splendor. So the best thing we can do with the Alef Beyt once we receive it is to be creators, is to be producers, is to be providers, is to be protectors. All of that is the mindset of the Father, you see. That's why every company that you go to work for, they only want you there to just be in the Alef Beyt, in the honor of the Alef Beyt, of the alphabet, so that you will keep the order of it and you'll be a faithful follower. So that's what you need to become, a faithful follower of the Father. The Alef Beyt is the source code. The source code for everything. Everything has a source code. Okay? And now more than ever, what the ones that are being trusted, I'm almost going to get to the questions pretty soon. Okay? But more than ever in society right now, what is being trusted the most, all right, to be able to take care of everything right now are those that only keep the alphabet and the order of words and source codes and follow that order. And plans and schematics and blueprints, and that's all the treasure and that's all they have. So why do you think people love everything about computers and digital computers and everything, the digital technology? Because all those things, that's all they keep. Computers, your iPhone, all they keep is source codes, the programming lines, orders from the alphabet, and therefore they're able to render a great service. You want this, they don't hold anything back. So people are so in love with those machines that only keep the alphabet that they want to mingle with them. People want to become like bionic and have some of those parts that are so, they give you superpowers and all that. People want to merge with that technology because that's all it does. It keeps the Alef Beyt. And so you want to have part of it. You want to have it infiltrate your life. You go into the simulated worlds in your video games and everything because that thing is just there to entertain you, not to take anything away from you. So that whole thing was given to us to reveal the character of the Father. You understand? Since there's nothing in this world that you can take with you, only words, you understand that was our first heritage. We were to acquire the mindset of the Father and bring it out in this world. Okay? That's why we were given a resilient garden, an organic garden that can procreate and self-duplicate and do everything for itself. Not like in this retarded garden where all the plants and manufacturers, they need you to make them and they need you. It's run by manpower. All right? So, obviously, you understand that the best thing that you can give this world is to put them all in the mindset of the Father. Because what does God have? God only holds the words of all the things He has made. He knows the code of all the DNAs, of all the insects and everything. He has the code of all the RNAs for all the trees. And that's all He holds on to. The Father doesn't hold on to anything from the dust. He just holds on to all the order, And that's what is His possession. And if you want to be in His mindset, you're going to have to just love the alphabet and love the order of words. Because that's the only way that you will be able to freely express it, okay? So in this Feast of Tabernacle that this whole week is being celebrated, is also called the Feast of the Ingathering, okay? Because it was the days of harvest, and they will gather all the fruits and they will bring it in, and that's how they celebrated being in this little Sukkoth, like it's this little tabernacle. They lived in there for 7 days, and they ate in there as a picture that they have been gathering. But this whole idea that I'm trying to tell you, this is the time of the gathering into the mindset. As we started the year with the Alef Beyt, the Rosh, the head, the mindset of the Father, and then we celebrated Yom Kippur, the idea of, we are short because we don't live forgiving. We ask God for forgiveness, but now we want to live just forgiving. Just forgiving and just for living in that mode of just giving. That's the Father's heart. And now you want to live into these things. Now, let me show you a little picture here on this part of how they make this, how they explain this thing here. So what they do is they tie up all these the palm tree and the araba, which means the willow, and the hadas, which means the myrtle. So it says here that the araba, is willow leaf, symbolizes the mouth. Okay, you got to speak for the Father. Okay, the myrtle leaves symbolize the eyes, because you got to be an observant of what He wants. All right, and the lulav, which is the palm leaves, it symbolizes the human spine. You have a backbone to stand. Okay, for what is the real thing to stand for. And etrog, which is the citrus fruit, symbolizes the heart. Okay, and so that's the whole thing. They say that the heart, which means leb is the heart, which is lamet, and beth, which means the guidance, of the schematics or the instructions of the blueprint. That's what heart is, leb. Alef Beyt is not here, but this represents the heart. So we have to have a heart that has all the guidance of the schematics, and so all of that put together is what we're going to need, a combination of all of that. Our heart, full of the law of God, our eyes observing and watching the law of God, and that's for the hadas, the myrtle leaves, and the araba, which means the mouth speaking, and standing firm. The lulav being the palm that stands firm. We have to have a spine and a backbone, especially this hour, to stand firm for that. So that's what we need. And that is we're celebrating. So that's this whole idea. So the best thing that I can give the world is the resurfing or the resurrection, the uniting, the filling up of the bones, to make fat the bones. Remember that in the Bible, the word I told you that the word dabar, which means word in Hebrew, dabar, has a numerical value of 206. Okay, 206. And that connects with the fact that our skeletons, which is our bones, our skeletons, as a mature adult, a skeleton has 206 bones. So you see the connection, and the bones inside your body is what gives the structure. Is the building that holds the flesh. All right? So that's the structure, the frame. And so we have the bar. So now the bar is going to be filled up right now. And that's what I'm trying to give you, because the bar needs to be filled up just with the mindset of the Father. And that's my whole teachings, is to fatten that bar and give it just the fullness of the mindset of the Father, so you will remain there. You understand that everything else is inconsequential, right? Okay, so very good. All right, so let's see what we can do here now. We're going to start some questions. All right, let me see here. Let me get my pen here to write down the people who's going to be winners today. All right, now. Okay, okay, let me get you can see you guys here, so I can see why you guys are responding. Got to put the screen here with your names in it. Let me see. All right, I see you guys. All right, let me get here. Let me get to the bottom of this so I can see everybody here. All right. Are we ready for the questions? Are we ready to make some money? All right. Okay. All right. So, first question for $50. What is the name of the holiday that we're celebrating this week in the Jewish calendar? The name of the holiday. What is it called? What do they call it? As I've been talking about the whole thing here. The first person to answer the name of this holiday that they're celebrating on this week. Okay. Tabernacle. Picture of the Father. Okay. At least you have one word. Let's see somebody else gives the whole Feast of Tabernacle. Bear fruit. Okay, bear fruit. You got it. The whole name is Feast of Tabernacle. Feast of Tabernacle. Okay, very good. So bear fruit has $50. All right. Okay, bear fruit. Now for the second question, now you cannot. Okay, you can you cannot participate now, but somebody else now instead of okay. All right. Okay. Now let's see. Somebody been paying attention. All right. Now, the next question is, I just finished talking about this right now, but the word in Hebrew the word for word in Hebrew is dabar. I explained that many times. Now, what is the numerical value of the bar? Can anybody tell me what is the numerical value of the bar? See if anybody was paying attention. We know when the chicken did. Numerical value of the bar. Yeah, it has a numerical value that corresponds to how many bones we have in the skeleton. I just gave it to you right now. 206. Very good, very good, very good. Andy Crispin, 206 is numerical value. So we have two winners so far, Bear Fruit and Andy Crispin. Okay, let me get a pencil that writes because this thing is dying on me. Okay, so here we go. Bear Fruit, Andy Crispin, all right. Okay, now, Bear Fruit, Andy Crispin, you cannot participate now. We're going to give another, the last $50 right now. Let me see how we're doing back here. Let me get all the way to the bottom so I'll be ready to answer this. Oh, wow, even Jody Smith answered, right? Not bad. A lot of you are participating. A lot of you know your stuff. I'm very good. But we have to go with the first one. But no, don't give up. You know, we're going to keep you doing this stuff. But that's very good. A lot of you know your stuff. All right. Okay, so now the last question. Okay. If you are an architect or an engineer, listen to me. If you're an architect or an engineer, and I give you the choice to resurrect the pyramids in front of you, or to resurrect the instructions of the pyramid, which one will be more beneficial for you to resurrect? The physical pyramid or the instruction? Answer now. Which will be more beneficial? Okay. Rosa Crispin, she said knowledge. Okay, knowledge is good. Knowledge is good. Knowledge is good. Brianna, that was good too. The knowledge is good. Exactly, because the knowledge, it makes you be the father. When you have the knowledge of how something works, that's the knowledge that makes you be the father. So to understand something, to understand the mindset for any economy, whether you're going to make computers or you're going to reveal the character of the father, is to understand his mindset. That's the most important, because that's what we're missing at this hour. So congratulations, and those of you have participating. It was very good. I mean, I'm glad that a lot of you are responding pretty good. So congratulations to Rosa, Bear Fruit, and also Andy Crispin, and congratulations to the rest of you. A lot of you know the stuff. I mean, Brianna, even Jody Smith, congratulations, you also responded correct. So you're paying attention, I can see. I mean, we have new people and everything. This is very encouraging, all right? So that's very good. So that's the whole thing that we're trying to do. You see, we're trying to get into the mindset that makes sense, for our day and age, okay? Because that's what we need, okay? Humanity has never been in a situation in which the whole humanity just wants to love the Alef Beyt and the order that he provides. We are forced to do it because we're not trained to be in the heart of enjoying the Father. Because every company you go to work, you are forced there to just keep the alphabet, the instructions and the manuals and source code. But you don't have any joy because they don't teach you to be in the joy of the Father. But if you understand that that's really the only thing that you get to keep with you are words. You don't get to take anything else but words. So might as well utilize it in the best way possible while you're here in the here and now and always, because that's how always it needs to be used. Because as long as you use the Alef Beyt in the mindset of the Father, you're going to be the greatest member that this whole humanity has ever encountered. Because you're going to be there always for the sake of providing care for your fellow man and giving them everything they need. We missed out on that, but it used to be something that they used to teach before. The Greeks used to teach what is called mnemonics. Mnemonics is the art of memorizing. There are people in the Greeks that they would memorize everybody that lived in their town. They knew their names, they knew their birthdays, and they knew everything. They used to do those things before when the mind of man was exercised more into learning. But nowadays, everything is trusted to the smartphone, so we become a dumb soul. A person that trusts a smartphone becomes a dumb soul because they don't remember anything. We are very dummies on the devices are very smart. Okay, so that's the whole idea. So when we acquire the mindset of the Alef Beyt, we're gonna love words again. We're gonna learn mnemonics. I have almost all the books on mnemonics, how to memorize everything. I'm always reading something on that. But that's what you're gonna become. So you become useful to your fellow man, and you're gonna be always, there on the 24/7 basis. And imagine what kind of humanity we'll have when we have all of that mindset. And that's what we have to aim for. And that's what the Torah is all about. The teachings orderly rendering altruistic humans. And that's what I aim to teach you, and that's what I aim to have you in that mindset. So I'm very happy for each one of you. I love each and every one of you that showed up today. I'm very encouraged by what you're learning. It's very encouraging indeed. And what can I say? Is I'm very proud of each and every one of you. And let me close here with a little commercial, I suppose.